Hey YouTube, Sam here. Another little electrical thing here. Oh, I hate these things. It's a 59-cent, I don't know, it says pay pack. 59-cent piece of crap here. And it doesn't even have the things on the side, the screws on the side to screw into. They're the ones that you just plug into the back. I literally, because I mean look, it was broke to crap. The top part doesn't work at all on it. So I pretty much quit using this plug until I could replace it. Went to do some replacing because I'm working on all this here. Yep, that's the door you walk into. Usually the Mustang's right here. I got several other videos going on what's going on here, but in the meantime, this piece of garbage, I went to pull it out, and whoever did this cut these wires just long enough to stick in the back of this and not leave you really enough room to put a good plug on there, and you can't, you know, strip more of this off, and I definitely can't pull it out anymore. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to fix it. Maybe it's not necessarily the best way to do it, but it's the only way I can figure out right now, and I think it will be okay. So here we go. This is where I say I'm no electrician. I don't even claim to be one on YouTube. If you do something I do and hurt yourself, I'm not responsible. If you don't like the way I'm doing it, don't do it. Other things, make sure you check your own codes and regulations on what you can and can't do as far as electrical. There's no power going to this box right here whatsoever. Make sure you do the same thing because you can kill yourself. Alright, there's that little thing out of the way. The black wires here, I got another black wire right here that I made the pigtail off of it here. I've already pre-stripped these, and quite honestly I'm gonna grab the bigger pliers here, and I'm going to first start by kind of twisting these together with these if I can. I'm going to put a nut on here, but for some reason this one doesn't want to play. This is not, pigtailing is not the best way to go. The best way would be to rewire this whole thing up, but you and I both know ain't nobody's going to do that for a fix. And you want these pretty darn tight, and then pull on all the wires. I mean, give them a good yank. If anything pops out, you did it wrong. Go do it again. These things are pretty tight. Now I do know, like as far as wire nuts, you gotta pay attention to sizes on those. Quite honestly, I eyeballed it and figured that looked like about the right one, but there are codes as far as that kind of stuff too. And then I'm just going to do the same thing with the two white ones sticking out here. Get some of this stuff out of the way here. I'm just going to start by twisting these ones first, and then I'll twist the other one into it, because that didn't work very well last time I tried to do the third one with it there. You don't need to watch me put a nut on this one. Alright, and we're in here. We got the pigtails coming out from the white and the black. Now this is something I learned just by watching my dad. He always made sure when he did anything similar to this that he put the wire nuts on opposite sides if he could. That way, you know, if something does happen to be poking out a little bit as far as wires, less of a chance you're gonna touch those together or touch anything to a ground. So get this over here, by the way. Now we got to hook up the receptacle plug here, and now you might be curious because you only get one cord here and one cord here instead of two, but as long as this right here isn't broke, I don't know if you can see that, but in between here, these are hooked together. So your black one goes on the brass colored kind of dark screw, white one goes on the white screw, and your ground goes on green. Very, very simple to wire up a plug. I got these what are they, Klein? Yeah, Klein tool. These are excellent strippers and they weren't that expensive. You want to strip this back quite a ways, That's what this little hole here is for, is actually to take and bend that around there, which then helps you put it on the screw. And I need to open these up. Now when you're only using one, you can choose whichever one you want, but make sure the other one's tightened down. It's something you don't see a lot of people talk about, but if you're only using one, you want to make sure that your other one is tightened. You don't want electricity bouncing back and forth in here. So I'm going to use the bottom ones for no other reason than it's the ones that I decided to use. And another thing, you want the twirl of the wire, I guess, so to speak, going the same direction as the way you're going to be screwing the screw in. Hopefully that makes sense. Something else you want to do is make sure this is tight. So that's another thing. These have a little place on each side. You can grab the wire. Hopefully you can see this. And squeeze the wire together. And yet again, tighten it up really tight. You don't want loose wires. That is what causes spark and which causes fires. So you don't want to strip them out, but they can take a pretty good squeeze there. And that one going that way. Quite enough here. I'm using my screwdriver to get it bent around there. I'm going to have to rebend that one. Bent this one, I kind of bend it in the wrong spot here. There we go. And tighten that. And then we're going to go on, we're going to do the ground the exact same way. You guys don't need to watch me do all of this. Just good and tight. Snug it down good. Make sure that's something too, like I had this was kind of stuck up on here. You want to make sure that the ends are coming out the two. There's a couple spots, because see now that's quite a bit looser now because I had it kind of stuck up on there. I'll make sure it's all the way seated into where it's supposed to be in that pocket. And this ground one is fairly short. So I'm going to do the ground. And that's pretty much it. You put it back together, put the cover on it, screws in there. You shouldn't need help with that part. So this is Sam, Jack of all, master of none. You all have a good one.